Hi, I'm John Cook, the president of Springfield Technical Community College, and I have the pleasure to sit with some current students at the college as well as recent graduates to talk about STEM and STEM careers. And that acronym stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. So I'm thrilled to have this opportunity. So 3 key questions to get us warmed up. Let us know your name, what you studied at the college, and also where you're living these days. So let's start on my right here.
My name is Micah, and I'm currently studying electrical engineering at STIC. I live in Ludlow, Massachusetts right now, and I graduated from homeschooling.
Great.
Hi, I'm Monica Prisbilla, and I am a former graduate from STIC. I did their science and engineering pre-med transfer, and I live in Ware. I'll be going to UMass in the fall, and I'm really excited.
Great.
I am Mohamad Gabriel. I'm doing engineering transfer program at STIC, and I live in West Springfield, Massachusetts right now.
Hello, my name is Yesenia, Almonte, and I graduated from STIC at 2015, and I graduated from the teleproduction media department.
And where are you from?
Oh, in Springfield.
Thank you. So key question, as you sort of think back on your years and finishing, and for those of you still there, is there a class that comes to mind or an experience that really stands out? I think rather than try to somehow capture that whole experience, is there one that really comes up in your mind that matters, is really important? And why don't we start, Mohamad, with you?
For me, I think it was my first semester, my Algebra 2 class. It's not because of the class or the class material, it's because of the professor I met in that class, who taught that class, which is Professor Kasia Goklasky, who ended up being a mentor for me throughout. And now this is my 3rd semester, going to 4th, and she's been very helpful and very resourceful. So I'm really glad I took that class. So it really helped me out through my college career.
Yesenia, is there something that comes to mind?
For me, it would have to be just basically being in the media department and being introduced to Karba, because she was a female in the media department, what is like really male dominant there. And it just made me feel comfortable, and having a female there just made me look forward to it and the advice that she would give me.
Micah, how about you?
I'd have to say being in the electrical engineering department, getting close to the professors. One professor in particular would be Professor Ruotolo. I took a motor controls course with him, and it's related to a lot of the materials that we use throughout the rest of the semester in different courses.
Monica?
Actually, my first semester when I took biology, Professor Burt sat me down. He was like, "You look like you're struggling, let me help you." And he showed me how to really take a book for biology and break down how to study it. And that class also showed me that study groups are the key to success at a college.
So I hear you. It's nice to hear that theme of there was a particular person for each of you, and we might come back to that. But I want to pick up on the item that Mohamad mentioned, which is math. Let's talk about math. I think for some students it's a bit of a 4-letter word, and yet in these STEM fields, you kind of can't get away from it, right? So I wanted to ask you, what was your experience with the math piece, and how did you contend with that, I guess? And let's start in this case. We'll go with Monica.
Math. Okay, so math is everything in science. It's in chemistry. It's also in biology. I've taken physics, where you had to take Calc 3, Calc 2, and you have to take differential equations, which I didn't take, so it was a little bit of a struggle. Math is science, and if you can't say that math isn't science, then I don't know what you're taking.
Yeah. Micah?
I kind of have to disagree about the biology part. Getting my degree in biology, we always had a joke in the department that we don't do math because we're biologists. But it is true. There's a ton of math.
Right.
So
right.
For me, it's kind of been just a necessary evil. You kind of got to get over it and just do your best in it. Because you'll use it for everything.
So Yesenia, how about you and this topic of mathematics?
Well, math, to be honest with you, was the worst for me. I struggled a lot with it, but there was many help at STIC. There was many tutors. There was there was, and the professors as well. All the professors I had, they were willing to help me out. And I had friends as well. They'd be like, come on, let's tutor together. Let's go to the library. Let's do this. I mean, it was a struggle for me, but I made it through. And I did have a lot of help, though. So it's possible.
Yeah. And Mohamad?
Well, math for me, it's always been my favorite subject. So I like math. I enjoy most of my math classes. And now I ended up even being a tutor in math through the supplemental instruction program. So math is important. As Monica mentioned, it's in everything. It is science. So
I was going to ask you, knowing that you do help other students, do you find for a lot of them it's realizing it's not whether they're smart or not, it's persistence? It's staying with it?
It definitely is. People have this kind of phobia for math. They come in before even taking any math, they already say, I hate math, or I'm afraid of math, which is kind of, I don't know whose fault it is, but it's the wrong mentality to start with. Math is just another subject, and if you want to do it, you can do it.
Yeah. So I wanted to work from that to talk about this term STEM. Those of us who work in higher education toss it around, and we like to use it quite a bit. But does that register for you when you think about what you've studied and the career? STEM is a nice, tidy acronym, but do you think of the underlying piece of all that? I guess let me come back to, how do you think of that word STEM? Let me start with Micah on the right here.
I actually didn't use the word when I was getting my first bachelor's degree, but now that I've gone into electrical engineering, it's been more of a word that I've heard more for the progression through high school to get ready for getting a career in the technologies or engineering or mathematics. For me, it's been more of an educational tool to get people more interested in science and technology and engineering and math. Because we also use it in the drone world. We use it for educating other people to learn how to do these things on the drones through the STEM programs at schools and stuff.
Monica, do you think of yourself as a STEM student?
I think so.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Being in the science and doing all the math and technical stuff with that, I'd say I'm a STEM student.
Yeah. Mohamad, how about that term for you?
Well, me being engineering and science transfer, I have already 2 of the letters in my major. I also went through the STEM Starter Academy last summer of last year. So definitely this is part of what I do. Yeah.
And Yesenia, I mean, share what you've been doing since you graduated in 2015.
Well, I graduated in 2015, and then after finishing STIC, I was interning at Focus Springfield for a while, for quite a year. And then after a while, I was like, hey guys, mind giving me some hours? Can I get in there? Are you hiring? And I finally got my foot in the door, and now I work for Focus Springfield full time.
And there's a ton of technology. I mean,
Yes.
we talk about these letters in that word. I mean, do you think of this career that you're building out as a STEM career?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't even hear about STEM because I graduated in 2015, so I guess it started like coming in a little bit between the time that I graduated. But after graduating and hearing about it, I was like, oh my God, I'm in the STEM program. Yeah.
So let me come back to one of the earlier pieces, which I heard there was a particular faculty member or somebody who really made an impact on you. There must have been barriers, challenges with each of you as you sort of persisted through your own program or certainly graduated. What are some of the other things that help you get through that? And let me come back to you, Yesenia, and start that way.
For when starting?
Just, especially you said that you took a number of years to ultimately complete your degree.
Yeah.
What were the things that helped you get through that?
Well, I started in 2009, didn't graduate in 2015. There was many challenges that I had. Switching majors was one of them. I didn't know what major I wanted to be in. I thought I wanted business, realized, no, that wasn't for me. And then when I finally got into the media department, it was perfect match for me. I did have to take a year off. I had a child. But I had so many support systems, and then the people at STIC did help me out. And then just going there and getting the help that I needed would basically help me out, and the family support.
How about you, Mohamad?
For me, well, before I got into STIC, I was out of school for like 5 to 6 years. So the biggest challenge for me was to get my mentality back into being a student again,
Right.
and being in a classroom again. So that first semester was very challenging, but like I mentioned, I've known Professor Kashika Klasky that semester, and I think she was a key in helping me kind of get into the mood of the school again.
Yeah.
And after that, every semester that comes after, I keep meeting great people, great mentors at STIC, and I think this is the one thing that really led me through people.
Yeah.
Yep.
How about for you, Monica?
The transition from high school to STIC and then being able to travel 40, 45 minutes a day to get to STIC was sometimes always a challenge. Because at first I didn't have my license when I first started STIC, so finding the ride to get to STIC was a bit of a challenge. But I'm thankful for my mom who was able to do that for me. And realizing do not take more than 18 credits when you first start your
Thank you.
semester.
Yes.
I did that,
Yep.
yeah. I had like one day where it was 13 hours.
And you were still working part of this time as well?
Yeah, I was working
Goodness.
too.
Yep.
I work around like 20 to 30 hours during the school semester.
Wow.
That can be a challenge because then you
yes.
have to be like, where do I find the time to study?
Yeah.
Definitely time management
Yep.
is key. Getting to
Yeah.
college is definitely
Yeah.
key.
And Micah, compare contrast. I mean, you came to the college with a bachelor's in hand.
Right.
And how have you found that experience? Similar or different?
I'd have to agree with all of them, and I'd say I got rid of all my mistakes at UMass, and put forth my best foot forward into STIC.
Yeah.
So I would say with time management was a big thing
Yep.
going to UMass, and then when I got to STIC, I was already prepared to
Yep.
figure out where
Yep.
I needed time to study or
Yeah.
time to relax. So.
So on that point, Monica, about high school and the transition, of course, what kind of advice or perspective can we offer high school students around these fields? I think a lot of us, again, in higher education are looking to try to get more attention on all of these fields that are in such demand right now. I certainly hear in my role employers saying time and time again, how many graduates do you have in a certain program? And often they'll say, well, take them all if you can. How do we encourage more students to look at this array of STEM programs?
I think they should just immerse themselves and educate themselves on the programs, ask questions to teachers that they have about programs that they're interested in, or sorry. And also have the teachers come to them and talk to them about this STEM, because not a lot of schools, because I went to Pathfinder, which was a trade school, was more technical, but not more of the biology and chemistry, and have the teachers tell them that this is an option and this will always be an option. You can go towards an education that you like for STEM, or you can work off
Yep.
into the field.
Yesenia, which high school in Springfield did you come up and through?
I graduated at SciTech.
Yeah.
Yeah. And basically just informing people. When I entered college, I wasn't well informed. I mean, I was the first person in my family to go to college. So I had no idea about anything at all. So going in, I was like, I didn't know what withdrawing a class was. So just basically reading and informing yourself and just, giving more information out to the ones who are like too scared to raise their hands and be like, hey, I have no idea what you're talking about right now. That was like major for me. I just needed to be a little bit more informed.
Mohamad, advice or perspective?
I would say, especially with the STEM programs, like she said, immerse yourself with the knowledge of those programs. But I would say also try to look at it in a different way, not just academically as what classes I'll be taking, or do I have to know a lot of math or a lot of science. Just get interested in the topics, technology, engineering, whatever, find if that's what your interest is. Then only you'll be able to accept that, the information you get in class or the textbook more welcoming. So, that would be my advice, is know more about what you want to do.
Sure. Micah, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd agree with Mohamad in that. I think with a lot of the STEM programs, people are, and again, they're so daunted by the math that you would use, they lose sight of what you can do with all of the education that you get. And I think that's more the important thing, is gaining a topic of what you're interested in and your goals as to what you want to do with it. rather than maintaining on the courses.
Yeah. And to echo too, the role that those of us working at these institutions have, Micah and I had a chance to sort of look at some of this drone work that he's doing, right? And to be able to hold and do, right, is a pretty powerful experience, I think, for a lot of students. So I think that's our obligation as well, is to have students be able to get right into it that way and not just have to sort of work through math on a whiteboard in front of them, right? So I think that's one of the things that a community college really gets to offer sometimes, is that hands-on piece.
Yeah,
Yeah.
community college is definitely a great option to do,
Yeah.
especially if you're not sure about what you want to do or you've been out of school for a while. I think community college is a very good place to start.
So one of the final questions I want to ask is sort of fast forward just a little bit, not too far, 4 or 5 years down the road, and think about the career piece. You clearly worked through this sort of STEM pathway. You persisted with math in some form or fashion. Help me know where your vision is for your career. Help me know what you aspire to be doing. And we'll put Mike on the spot once again.
I really don't have like a set job in mind, but down the road, I'd say dream job would be working on robotics. My main goal would be biorobotics, which applies my biology degree. We take mechanical systems from biological elements, so even like simple frog, how they jump, and apply that to robotics as to how we could manipulate a system for real-world applications.
Monica, I think I know the answer, but
Yeah.
lay it on us.
My dream is to be a psychiatrist. I want to work and also in mental health research. So in 5 years, I see myself in medical school.
Mohamad?
Okay. I don't know if 4 or 5 years is enough time for this, but I wouldn't say my dream job, but my goal, something that I want to achieve with my major is mixing. I want to do mechanical engineering, a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering, and then maybe a master's. But what I really want to do is a mix between that major or that type of engineering with the renewable energy and green energy science. And what I want to achieve with that is develop underdeveloped areas around the world using this kind of energy.
Yeah.
So hopefully that will be my ultimate goal.
Yesenia, 2 years post-degree. How about another 5 years from now?
Well, hopefully I'm still here. Focus. Basically, just continue on working here and helping people out, and maybe sitting in the chair you're in, hosting. Being a co-host or something. In between. That's pretty what I want to do.
Well, it is nice to sit in this chair.
I know.
This is a dream job for me. And in that vein, let me ask you, in my role as the president, what advice do you have for me? Think on that for a second. What suggestions do you have for the college when it comes to teaching and learning? I'm really keen to know, again, given this conversation, these experiences, what more could we be doing? Let me start with Mohamad on that.
That's a pretty tough one. The reason why I say it's tough because I already see there's a lot of work being done in the school. I see it up close by, talking to people high up in administration, professors. So I already see there's some changes being made.
Yeah.
But I would say my advice to school is always prioritize that academic life for the students, better it, and make them feel welcome and comfortable in their majors. So.
Yesenia, advice for me?
Well, I haven't been at STIC for a couple of years now. But it's funny because the last time you were here and you were hosting, you guys were talking about many different things that happened at STIC, which is one of the things that I needed to change. I was like, I needed help on these things. So you guys pretty much already nailed the things that I was a little frustrated on.
Monica?
Advice for you, you've been doing so well.
Thank you. Thank you.
As you are the new president, you've immersed yourself with students, you went to student activities, and you do a lot for the college. And as far as the college in a whole, I agree with Mohamad that just remember that, keep in mind of the students, make sure that they're always welcome, know where they're going, which I like the new layout that we have. That's pretty much it.
Any suggestions, Micah?
Yeah, just kind of keep doing what you're doing because, like I said, I've only been here a year, but as I can see from you, you're already pretty active in the student realm, which is important as a president.
Yep.
It's kind of a weird thing. In my understanding of college, it's kind of a weird thing to see the president so often on the campus mingling with the students.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, and like they've both said, keep the college about the students and help them feel welcome, and understanding where they're going is a very important part.
So last question, it's open-ended. It's the idea of what should I be asking you? We're having a conversation about STEM, science, engineering, technology, math, careers. What else should I have asked you around that topic? We'll go with Monica to start us off.
That's a good question.
What should I have asked you?
I have no idea. I'll pass it on to
Okay, no, that's all right.
I don't know if I would say should have asked, but that would be a good conversation to have about like the details about the tutoring, the help the students get, which is something, that's why she did this, because she mentioned something like that
there.
before.
Now we're getting there.
There
But
is
yeah.
no tutoring for physics, for calculus-based physics. That should be a thing. Because I find peer tutoring to be really nice when we're in the engineering study lounge, because we have that, and it helps with big groups as well as small groups. But we don't have like a centralized tutor for certain STEM programs, which I know there is not one for mechanical engineering. There's a few other ones, but I won't mention all of them.
Okay.
But I think we should focus on the tutoring.
Okay.
But that's why programs like
Yeah.
the supplements instruction,
Yeah.
which I mentioned earlier, is a really good one. I know it's a new program in the school, but I think this is going to go places.
Yeah.
I know there's other programs that are at STIC who have tutors, but I think the more we implement those in the campus, the better for everybody, really.
Yeah. Yesenia, any questions that came to mind that I should have asked you?
No, I think you nailed that. I think
Micah?
you nailed it.
Yeah, I'd have to say nailed it. So.
You're all too kind, because let me tell you, we could have talked about parking. We could have talked about
if you wanna talk about parking,
student
we can
debt.
go there.
We could talk about
Talking
student
only
debt.
STEM here.
But we'll maybe we'll need to get the band back together and we'll do this again some other time.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate the context. Clearly, this STEM conversation is an important one for a technical community college. And thanks again for sharing.
Thank you.
Thanks.